Have you ever stopped to think about the journey a simple banknote takes before it lands in your wallet? I don't mean just moving from a bank to your pocket. I mean the real journey. The one that starts in a cotton field, passes through secretive high-tech factories, and involves science that feels almost like magic. Today, we're going to follow that journey for Indian currency notes. And by the time we're done, I promise you will never look at any rupee note the same way again. It all begins under a wide open sky and vast fields of cotton. But this isn't the cotton that becomes your bed sheets or your jeans. This is long staple cotton, grown specifically for its extra long, extra strong fibers. When the cotton bolls burst open, they reveal soft white tufts that look delicate but are actually incredibly tough. Farmers harvest them carefully, using a mix of modern machines and gentle handling, because any break in the fiber would weaken the final note. Once collected, the cotton is compressed into dense bales, each one tagged and graded. Only the best bales get to move forward. Everything else goes to regular textiles. So right from the start, only the finest raw material is good enough for India's currency. From the fields, those certified bales travel to the banknote paper mill India in Mysuru, Karnataka. This is a state-of-the-art facility, a joint venture between two government-owned companies. Here, the real transformation begins. The cotton is opened, cleaned, and mixed with water to form a soft pulp. But here's the clever engineering part. The fibers are treated so that their surfaces grow tiny microscopic hairs, almost like Velcro, at a molecular level. These hairs help the fibers lock together tightly, creating a paper that is far stronger than anything you use in a notebook. That's why any Indian banknote, whether it's a 10 rupee note or a 500 rupee note, can survive being crumpled, folded, washed, and passed from hand to hand for years without falling apart. As the pulp moves through the machine, special additives are mixed in. Some add wet strength, others prepare the paper for security features. Then the pulp spreads onto a moving screen, and the magic really starts. A watermark begins to form inside the paper itself. It's not printed on top. It's built into the structure by controlling the thickness of the fibers in different areas. For all Indian currency notes, this watermark includes a portrait of Mahatma Gandhi, along with an electrotype of the denomination value. At the same time, a security thread is embedded right into the wet paper. This thread becomes a permanent part of the note. So even before any ink touches the surface, the note already carries its first layers of identity and protection. After the paper is formed, it passes through long drying cylinders, and what emerges is a strong, flexible sheet with a characteristic off-white or colored base, depending on the denomination, and a unique, crisp feel. That feel? That's the first thing a cashier checks when they handle a genuine note. Now the paper, still blank apart from the watermark and thread, moves to the printing stage. This is where the note starts to look like money. The sheets enter massive printing halls. The first step is offset printing, which applies the background colors and fine patterns. Different denominations have different color schemes. The 10 rupee note is brown-orange, the 20 is red-orange, the 50 is fluorescent blue, the 100 is lavender, the 200 is bright yellow, and the 500 is stone gray. These base colors are applied here, along with geometric patterns and delicate swirls called guyot designs. These are incredibly hard to copy with standard printers, but even after this stage, the note looks flat. The portrait of Mahatma Gandhi is just an empty shape in the base color. The text is there, but it has no texture. It's like a coloring book before someone fills in the details. The real transformation happens next, with a process called Intaglio printing. This is the heart of currency production for every Indian banknote. Engraved plates are pressed onto the paper under enormous pressure, sometimes several tons per square inch. The ink used here is thick and paste-like. When the paper is pressed into the engraved grooves, the ink transfers as raised ridges. That means when you run your finger over a genuine rupee note, you can actually feel the portrait of Mahatma Gandhi, the Ashoka Pillar emblem, and the guarantee clause signed by the Rupee governor. That tactile sensation is one of the most important security features. It's simple for anyone to check, but incredibly hard for counterfeiters to replicate. Every line of Gandhi's face, every stroke of the text, stands physically above the surface. After the front is printed, the reverse gets the same intaglio treatment. Depending on the denomination, you will see different themes. The 10 rupee note shows the Indian rhinoceros and elephants. The 20 shows the Konark Sun Temple. The 50 shows a Hampi stone chariot. The 100 shows the Rani Ki Vav stepwell. The 200 shows the Sanchi Stupa. And the 500 shows the Red Fort. All of these are raised in intaglio, and if you look closely on the reverse of every note, you will find the denomination written in 15 regional languages, a beautiful reflection of India's diversity. Then come the more advanced security features. A special ink called optically variable ink is applied to the large denomination numeral on the front. When you tilt the note, this numeral changes color. For example, on the 500 rupee note, it shifts from green to blue. On the 200, it shifts from green to blue as well, but with different shades. This color shift is produced by tiny metallic flakes that reflect light differently at different angles. It's a beautiful effect, but it's also a powerful anti-counterfeiting measure. Every Indian note above 10 rupees has this feature. Next, a windowed security thread is added on the front, usually to the left of Mahatma Gandhi's portrait. This thread shifts color when you tilt the note, and it carries demetallized text like Rupee and the denomination value in words. The thread weaves in and out of the paper, visible in small windows on the surface. This makes it nearly impossible to fake. Then come the serial numbers. Every Indian banknote has a unique serial number printed in 2 panels, one on the top left and one on the bottom right. The numerals are printed in ascending font size, growing from small to big across the panel. That subtle graduation is a deliberate design feature. Each note gets a completely unique combination, and the Reserve Bank of India tracks every batch. This traceability ensures that if a note is ever counterfeited, authorities can trace it back to its production run. After serial numbers, a protective coating is applied to seal everything and make the note resistant to dirt and moisture. Then, the sheets go through a final automated inspection, where cameras and sensors check every single millimeter for defects. Any note with the tiniest flaw, a misaligned watermark, a missing thread, a speck of dust, is rejected and shredded. Only perfect notes move forward. Finally, the large sheets are cut into individual notes by precision guillotine machines. For the first time, the completed banknotes appear as separate pieces. They are counted, bundled into groups of 100, and then packed into bricks of 1,000 notes. Each brick represents a specific value depending on the denomination. These bricks are sealed in secure containers and handed over to the Reserve Bank of India. From there, armored convoys transport them to Rupee issue departments across the country. And then, finally, they enter your world. They go into ATMs, bank counters, and retail tills. They pass from hand to hand, from city to village, from market to market. And every time someone tilts a note to see the color shift, or feels the raised portrait, or holds it up to the light to see the watermark, they are unconsciously verifying all that hidden engineering. The note's journey ends in your pocket, but its life is just beginning. So next time you hold any Indian banknote, Whether it's a 10, 20, 50, 100, 200, or 500, remember the cotton fields, the paper mill in Mysuru, the Intaglio presses, and the thousands of people and machines that brought it to you. It's not just paper and ink. It's a masterpiece of nature, technology, and human skill. Every note tells a story. And now, you know how to read it.
Unnecessary cut.